Alright, this video is about what I've been doing all summer, besides working 13-hour days in between Dairy Queen and Subway. About that, usually it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday are my 13-hour days where I work Subway in the morning and Dairy Queen at night. Yeah, and then I usually work Subway Wednesday morning and Dairy Queen Tuesday night. And for some reason, they keep switching and playing with Mondays. I've had the last Monday and this Monday completely off. Besides that, besides all the work that I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm just going to share with you guys some of the books that I've been reading. Some of them you'll be totally into. Some of them you probably might not be into any of them. In fact, I don't expect many of you to be, but you might. You gotta wait, though. Some of them you might like. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. This is the first one that I read, beginning in May, and my counselor at my school that I go to, Harding, I used to go to him, and his name was David White, and I used to talk to him about my fiancée, Shayna, and about my life in general, and he said that this was a good book to read. It's called Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman, and it's about how people receive and give love in five major different ways. And without looking back at it, it's like physical touch is one, and when you're married, that means sex. It means massages and holding hands. And he said that was okay. For all of you who think it's not. And then, then the other one was acts of service, where you do things for a person. You give them flowers. And then there's quality time, where I always want to be clingy. And then there was words of affirmation, where you're like, you're so cute. I want you. And then there was gifts, where you give them things and you take them out to eat for dinner. I like it. There's another book, and it's called God's Love Languages, and I think it would be more interesting. This, I mean, you kind of know these things, but it's good to get a look through it. And I read this other one that Shayna thought I should read because of, I'm a Christian guy. It's called Everyman's Battle. Problem was, it was more for married men, so that they don't cheat on their wives. More so what it was for. So it didn't really fit for me, but, I mean, it fit well enough. It was good enough. If Shane and I are gonna get married, so close enough. And, I mean, I enjoyed this one a lot less. This was probably my least favorite, but it was also probably at the same time the one that I needed the most. And here's the fun stuff. It's not, not that religion isn't fun. Ooh, here's other stuff. Okay, children's series novel time. Pendragon, book number 10, The Soldiers of Halla. Absolutely love Pendragon. This was the last book. I'm so happy. I finished reading it a few weeks ago. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. You should check out dj.machale's Pendragon series and his other work. He did a movie, The Tower of Terror. He directed Are You Afraid of the Dark? He wrote Encyclopedia Brown, Boy Detective. What else did he do? He does a thing called Flight 29 Down Now, which isn't that popular. But I mean, it's popular enough. Oh yeah, he did Ghost Rider too. You remember Ghost Rider? Everybody loved Ghost Rider. I love this series, and I'm pretty pleased with how it ended. It ends, got such a sweet ending. It's great. They also put out 3 prequel books to it. And the prequel books, the first one I thought was stupid, and I didn't really like it. It was the one that everybody was anticipating for and wanting more. And they're not actually written by DJ. They're written by different authors. Like, I know Walter Sorrells wrote these other 2, and they're actually pretty good because I like him. But this first one is actually written by a woman who wrote a Charm children's story series, and she's just not that great. I mean, she's decent, but she's not. I didn't. It seemed like the whole Gunny story, she just kind of did just put a gun in his hand, and I just didn't like it. And Cautious was so short and seemed irrelevant. Spader's was good, but it seemed kind of like misplacing of time, space, and places. Like it wouldn't match up with if you read this first and then read the second. It didn't seem like it would make any sense. But this one was kind of sad, but it was fun. This one was my favorite. I loved it. Walter Sorrells did a great job on this one. He got DJ's name on it because he created the series. Aja, the young girl story, is very great. Oh, I loved her character in that story. She was very fun. And then this woman, Ellie Winter's her name. She reminded me of my mom. She was moping around throughout the whole story. She's like, oh, everybody likes me. Nobody likes me. Kind of like me. Only, but she does some really great, awesome stuff. And it was fun. And even Alder's story was great. But he didn't put his brother in it, which upsets me because Alder's brother is like is a huge background concept story for Alder, and Walter Sorrells didn't even put it in there. And I'm wondering, did DJ even read the Alder story? Because if he did, he should say, yeah, you need to mention his brother. But anyway, the rest of it was great. That one detail. This one was Lore Patrick and, what's his face? Saji, that's not his name. But I like it. I can just remember his name. Doesn't matter anymore. But I enjoyed this one. Her story was crazy. His was very interesting. The story of Patrick also revolves around a story by Dr. Seuss called I Had Trouble in Getting to Solu, and I enjoyed it. It was great. That story's great. I really want to get the Dr. Seuss book. I Had Trouble in Getting to Solu. It sounds interesting. There's one of his older, darker ones. And now here's the last book that has been probably the most anticipated book that I've been waiting to read for a long time because of Shannon. And it's taken me, it hasn't taken me that long. I started it about a week or two, and I've only been reading it like an hour, 2 or 3 hours maybe, on 3 or 4 different languages. Yeah, it usually takes me about 3 hours to get through 50 pages, but I'm not spending the whole time reading. I get distracted because I get bored, and sometimes I fall asleep just reading anything. But this book I like. It's Blue Light Jazz by Donald Miller. It's a very popular Christian book today. And Shayna said he sounds just like me, and he does. I think he rambles a little bit, and he seems to go off topic a little bit. But, I mean, he weaves everything together like a writer does. That's why it's a book. But I loved it. And I thought it was really great. I love the chapter on love that he did. There's a lot of talk about how he's experienced the whole churches that use too much war metaphor. He talks about how he has seen all the liberals be completely outcast by churches. He discusses many things that I relate to like that. He talks about being clingy with women a little bit. He talks about learning how to receive love and loving himself at the very end. That's what I read today, about the last 50 pages. And I very much needed to know that and to read that because I do need to learn how to receive love and work on that. It's a tough thing to do sometimes because I want to humble myself and not be full of myself. But I also want to be able to love those around me because that's what I need to do. But Donald Miller is a great guy, and I'm going to be looking at his website and everything now. I really did like his book, The Dawn Rabbit and The Dawn the Astronaut.